Hello and welcome to another episode of this podcast. Today we have a very special guest. Introducing Dr. Ketan Veera. He is the director and professor at Pillai HOC Institute of Management Studies and Research. He has authored books and presented various papers at national and international conferences while being awarded at many occasions for the best papers. He was recently also appointed by Ministry of Textiles, Government of India as an external member at Technical Evaluation Committee for Skill Development. Introducing Dr. Ketan Veera.
As I see, there is a new education policies coming up. They are also talking about 2020 new education policy. Will there be any change in management education?
Definitely. See, if you look at the management education, it is more focused program. And when I say management education, I'm talking more about a master's program. You can call it as an MBA or MMS. So definitely the rigor of NEP is light when it comes to a management education. I'll tell you how. If you look at the UG programs, they have minor, major, open electives.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Right. But here things are quite different. It has a blend of new education policy where students do learn about their electives, but they have given liberty. Now, what is a flexibility? If you ask me, students can pick up any of the elective which is offered in the curriculum. At the same time, students can also pick up any of the elective from Swayam portal.
Okay.
So that gives them some amount of flexibility, which we all are aware of it, that flexibility is one of the core essence of new education policy. Second, definitely it has to be with some flavor of Indian knowledge system or Indian knowledge wisdom or whatever we call it. Because some way or the other, as the new education policy's one of the pillar is also in understanding that how Indian knowledge systems evolution has lot of relevance in the contemporary world. So definitely it has some flavor of Indian knowledge system, but the success of it lies on how it is being delivered in the class, how it has been connected to the program, and how it helps the learners in the holistic development. So that is a second aspect. Third, the credit-based structure. Definitely it has to be linked to the UG programs. So that is very well taken care of credit being linked or the program being identified as a level based. So that is also been taken care of under the new education policy and the management education being tied to it. So these are three major areas, but it can't be with the same level of rigor as much as it can be in a UG program. Primarily because one who plans to pursue management education is quite focused. Okay, either I want to take up a job in the domain which I like, or I want to become an entrepreneur. So it is quite focused, but very clearly it is integrated in the new education policy.
You know, this 4 years of education, a degree, UG program will become 3 to 4 years now. You get a degree, BB or BMS. I'm talking specifically these two programs. After 3 years, you get a degree and then you get honors. So if a person doing honors in BMS, then how many years of MBA?
So they'll be able to complete the MBA program in 1 year.
1 year. So that's a major change.
This change has already been introduced, not exactly with BMS or BBA, because very clearly the students, those who will be doing their 4 years program of BBA or BMS, are yet to come into the mainstream or to reach the final year of their honors. But one thing which reflects this is government from last year has already allowed engineers to be admitted directly in the second year of MBA program. So as it is, engineering has always been of 4 years.
Okay.
Right, B program has always been of 4 years.
Then again there's a confusion of basics.
So no, there's no confusion of basics. Again I told you, see, the success of any education depends on how it is being delivered. So at our institute what we did was, when this entire circular came, that we can directly admit students of engineering, B students into second year, we had a proper 1 month bridge course.
Okay.
And the rigor of that bridge course was to such an extent, Mr. Rajesh, I'll tell you, when it came to employability, my lateral entry students, what we call, they were the first to get employed. Yeah. So again, the success of anything depends on how you deliver, how you execute, rather than merely looking at the policy framework or a policy perspective.
I tell you, all science students, especially engineering and chemistry and biology and other science students, they pick up commerce subject very easily.
It's a plain slate. It's a plain slate. So basically, that's the reason.
And that is my way of understanding.
See, I'll tell you where does it differs. Student who has already done his or her commerce or management, you can call BCom, BMS, BBA, they have studied subjects of management. And so when they take up their PG program, you can call it as PGDM or MBA, they feel that they know about it. And eventually the first semesters are very common and simple because very clearly management education is one type of education which is open for all. So we have a student from biology, we have a student from literature, we have a student from computer science and a students of management, BBA or BMS and BCom students sitting together. So when a teacher starts teaching from the basic, these students perceive कि भाई we know this. ये तो हमको सब आता है करके. And eventually they lose interest because they feel कि so again I'll tell you my emphasis is on again and again on one thing. You have to make these learners, those who are sitting with a non-commerce student, कि भाई see initially you may feel that you know about it, but this is not all what we are going to teach over a period of time. So that need to be broken up into small exercises where you can customize exercise for commerce student, management student separately and non-commerce students separately.
So one of my friend who was a company secretary and a lawyer.
Good combination.
He went for MBA. He told me that he learned only 3 to 4 things. He said how to wear a tie, how to project Excel Sikha, and some other things. So he said I did not learn anything new. This was his way of thinking. I don't know, ma'am. He might be a good reader.
This is entirely.
Or how to present interview. Interview कैसा face करने का.
So see, let me tell you, this is a big myth. Learning Excel eventually helps in business intelligence. Now, if that candidate feels that I started learning how to knot the tie, let me tell you, I personally feel packaging matters. How much ever you are intelligent, how much ever you know, but you should have that presentable approach also. So, one thing which is very much undermined and people don't understand that learning in management education is quite invisible. Of my connection with more than 5,000 of my ex-students with whom I am connected, I don't get immediately any call from students saying, okay, sir, really management education has been very much helpful to me. I am growing in life. But I've seen a lot of my past people, they call me up and saying, Arey, sir, now it is where I feel that management education has been helpful. Okay. So you need to have a patience. See, you come across a particular situation and that situation can be a breakthrough in your career or in your growth. And at that point of time, you realize that this was something which I had learned during my MBA program. And it has been helpful, which has led to my takeoff in the journey. So that is exactly what I feel. People should have patience. See, a fresher from an MBA B school or from an MBA institute may not find its relevance immediately because the management program, which is for master's management program, you call it as PGDM MBA, is meant to take care of people at a high level of management.
Right.
So the very reason when BMS and BBA program was introduced, it was not that BBA and BMS is going to be a stepping stone for a MBA program. It was basically this UG program will handle the roles in the middle management and those who have done their MBA will be there in the top management. Okay. So a lot of learning, lot of practicality and positive approaches required if you want to do your management program.
Just got a thought. Is it advisable for a student to do MBA after doing BMS or BBA?
I have a different perspective to it, Mr. Rajesh. See, MBA can be done at any point of time.
Right.
You can do it immediately after you have completed your UG program, irrespective whether it is BMS, BBA. It can be done after taking 2 years of work ex. A lot of students, they take a break in their career and they come back and they do their MBA program and then they go back to industry with a different perspectives. So there is no any fixed pattern that when to do MBA.
No, the question is, does MBA help students who have done BMS and
Yes,
BBA?
it helps. It helps. See, what happens is, one thing we have to accept that maturity comes with age.
Okay.
So when they are doing their UG program, they are not a voters. Eventually, they become voters, right?
Right.
Either they are in the second year or whatever it is, and that also provided the election do take place during the UG program. So there's some level of maturity which is required. When you learn same concept with maturity and still you are getting matured, I will not call them as an immature, you are going to look at the same concept from a different perspective. That is one thing. Secondly, the rigor of MBA program is very different. It's very rigorous program. They have multiple subjects. They have a lot of presentations. They have a lot of assignments. They have a lot of activities. The pedagogy is different. It has to be more about case-based teaching. You start with a case and then you go to approach, then you go to application, then you go to analysis, and then you have a closing case. So the entire pedagogy is also different. See, if you look at it, the students' entire objective at an UG program of BBA and BMS is to pass hona hai.
Pass hona hai.
Right. When they take up the MBA program, they don't say कि pass hona hai, अच्छा job चाहिए.
Right.
Which also is a partial perspective.
Right.
I personally feel
Right.
people should pursue education to become more capable rather than looking at job. Because if you become capable, by default you are employable karke. So the objective linked behind the BBA program and BMS program, generally in our setup, is that maybe I need a good score, I need a good percentage, I need good credit, grade performance and everything. That's all what we look at.
Just one question which many students ask me. I mean, we discuss with them. What is the difference in the syllabus of IIM and Mumbai University MMS?
So it's
syllabus is the same or rigorousness?
No. There's a lot of difference, and this cannot be compared also actually. See, the pedagogies are different. The students' ability to digest in this top B schools is quite different. For example, if in any of the colleges which are affiliated to university, if you give them a case which runs into 16 pages, they will not read. But if you give a same 16 page case study to an IIM grad, he or she will sit down whole night and read it and will enter into a thought process. What can I learn from this? What can be the different perspectives which can evolve from this case study? So even if the curriculum is same, the ability matters.
Now I want to know, is the curriculum same?
Not entirely, but definitely the basics are quite similar. You can't have a off management in a management education.
And now, so IIM and MMS is, you saying this is the difference. I want to know now MMS and PGDBM.
So there's no much difference in PGDM and MBA or MMS program. See, only difference is that when you are running your MMS program, it is affiliated to University of Mumbai. When you are doing a PGDM, it is approved by AICTE.
So why there is a difference in fees?
So ultimately what happens is there is some level of flexibility which is there in PGDM because it is a institution run program, although the entire syllabus and curriculum gets approved from AICTE, but you have an entire freedom to make it more flexible, tailor it to the needs of the industry, and try to upgrade it as and when required. Further, again, you have entire freedom to teach the way you want to teach. You can have a trimester or a semester, whatever you want to do it. So there's a lot of flexibility, and hence generally people feel that it is more industry driven and industry ready syllabus or curriculum, whereas if it is a university, it takes some time for university to revise the syllabus, and there's a lag between what industry needs and what exactly is there in a curriculum. But I'll tell you, see Mr. Rajesh, actually again and again I've been insisting on one thing: how it is delivered in a class. Even if the syllabus is not updated, but a faculty is industry driven, is well prepared with what is going on in industry, and is able to deliver in the class, I think it serves the purpose. See, basic structure of the curriculum is not going to change, right? It has to be a managerial competency based curriculum. whether it is IIM, whether it is PGDM, or it is MBA or MMS. So ultimately it is everything. How it is being delivered and what is the ability of a student to absorb it results into an outcome.
Okay, now this question again, going back to what I was asking you about the new education policy. Students who will do BMS honors or BCom honors will have 1 year of MBA.
Exactly, same thing as...
And those who are from BCom, they'll have 2 years of MBA.
Yes.
Plain BCom with no honors.
Yes. So your new education policy, to best what I understand, is first is certificate, then is diploma, then is degree, and then is honors degree, right? So one who completes the honors degree will directly be admitted into the second year of MBA or MMS program and will be able to complete his or her. See, even in those days when we had an integrated program, right? Although it was not for 4 years, but it was somewhere or the other taken care of UG.
So then all the management colleges will have two tracks. One is people who are coming from BCom and second year. But they will be directly added to second.
They'll be directly added.
But
now,
then
only thing
then
is...
sitting arrangement will be, because if the students enrolled for first year, say example 60 students going to second year, then there will be no seats for second year students.
So that is entirely on the regulatory authorities to decide.
Have a separate class for them.
So this is also nothing new. See, look at the engineering program, how it is structured. Diploma lateral entry into an engineering BE program.
Right.
It is already there.
Okay.
So it's not going to be much of complexity, but definitely regulators will have to give a proper thought to it, that what should be the seats which can be increased by an institution and everything has to be properly taken care of. I think they must have done also by then. I must have not
See,
been
one issue with a lot of management colleges I have come across, placement issue. They may be good at teaching, they might not be good at teaching. They are able to market it, students enroll, and eventually when a placement comes, students are like, I have come across a few students saying that MBA नहीं करता तो भी वही job मिला था मुझे, और BCom करने के बाद में. In fact, yesterday I came, 2 days back, around 4 people from Motilal Oswal came to me, 4 students. One was an MBA, one was an undergraduate, and 2 were graduates. They all were in the same job. So, just wanted to understand, if there is an issue of jobs, then there may be some issue of syllabus also. Because what you are teaching and that is be industry wants. This, if you can put a light on this.
There is neither any problem with syllabus, there is no problem with delivery, there is no problem with job availability. Problem is with mindset.
Okay, mindset of students.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, as I told you, I'll tell you 3 things about it. Number 1, management education's real fruits will be seen only when you get into a role which is of some strategic nature. Till the time you have not got into that role or you have not gone into that role, you will not understand the real essence of management education. So students do not have patience. They immediately want to look at getting into a leadership role or a strategic role. And if you look at most of the strategic tools also, which we teach students in management education, and at that point of time we do emphasize, lot of qualitative data which is used in strategic tools is based on experience. Right? So experience should not be undermined even in the world where modern technology is indispensable. Experience does has its own importance. Let us accept it with a pinch of salt. Number 2, what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking for a job which you want to settle immediately, or whether you are looking at a job as a learning experience? Have some patience, take up a job, grow in that job, build network. Eventually you will reach a height. So that is a second perspective which students don't understand. They feel that I should get a job with someone from a best top 10 institutes of India is getting. So reality check need to be done. Third, students are not entirely wrong, right? They have not been made to understand the job roles properly.
Okay.
So what happens is, unfortunately, those who are guiding them with regards to the job profile and job description, themselves are not aware about what exactly this profile and job role and the job description is. So if a proper understanding is given to the student, those who are going to get into a placement, this is a job description, this is a profile, and how that job profile and job description can be a stepping stone for their career in future. Unfortunately, a good mentoring is required, which is lacking in some places or somewhere, but then we make students understand that how you will grow in a particular job. So that is something we have to make students understand. So possible in the first job I may be sitting with a candidate who is just a BMS or a BBA, right, with a little bit more salary because I am MBA. But 5 years down the line, if you compare it purely from the employability perspective, the salary of an MBA candidate will be much more than the BBA. And then that BBA guy will go back to B school, do his or her MBA, and then come back and then will compete. Major problem is we are in the world which is full of speed, and we'll somewhere or the others feel that patience is something which is missing. So that is the reason that whatever comes out from the students' side, jobs are not available, there's no dearth of jobs actually.
Ketan sir, I would call you sir. Thing is, one issue which always among the students is, one is job issue, and second is they are not able to adjust. As for example, let me reframe it. A student who is a BCom, and student who is a BMS, and student who is a BFM, they all the three come to the same class of MBA. So only there are few specialization, whether it's marketing, finance, HR.
Operations is there, systems is there.
In fact, there are many offered by majority talk about marketing, finance, HR.
Right.
So one of the reason, I don't know, I just wanted to ask you is the issue of job is because the specialization is not there in MBA, MMS?
No, I personally feel you have answered the question. See, I look at the institute where I want to enroll, or I want to take admission, PGDM, MBA, MMS, purely based on packages. So what is a missing link? So student has to look at it. This A institute, I want to do marketing, and the best of the marketing companies come to this institute. So where is the missing link? You are deciding on your entire admission based on the placement in general, not a specialized placement. So you have to identify which institute is good when it comes to finance jobs. The number of companies from a finance sector coming to A institutes are more as compared to B. Number of marketing companies coming to B institute is more than C. Number of HR companies coming to C institution is more than A and B. So that should be a proper research which students should do while deciding on. And there are institutes like us where we have companies from all the domains like marketing, finance, HR, operations. But again, you have to be very practical with it. Okay? The roles of HR are less as compared to the role of marketing. Role of operations are relatively less as compared to the role of marketing. So very clearly you have to identify your institute based on the specialization rather than only looking at an institute someone got 20 lakh ka package and this institute is bad. And definitely that 20 lakh may be in the systems which you are not meant for.
My question was, if an MBA is done by a BCom, BFM, and those specialized BCom course, graduation
course. Anything, BFM,
so,
BB.
So, for example, BFM, if a BFM student going to MBA and doing a specialization in finance, I think usko jyada clarity of subject is
not
there.
Not exactly. See, Mr. Rajesh, actually what happens again, I'll go back to the same thing. A student who has done BFM for 3 years or now maybe 4 years, finally may realize that I'm not a cut for finance. I'm not a cut for account.
That is okay, but what I want to tell
you,
those who
management gives them a leverage that you can now decide and redo or you can rework on your skills and rework on your knowledge. Answering it again, if ultimately UG programs are mapped with MBA program. Either we will have someone from now this entire curriculum of management is decided on what industry needs, right? So industry needs people from finance, industry needs people from marketing, industry needs people from operations, moreover, even today if you look at it, lot of other programs like business analytics, everything is there as a specialization. One more thing which many of the institutions are doing like us, we do offer them add-on certifications.
Okay.
So for example, if a candidate has enrolled in finance, but fintech is not offered as one of the elective in curriculum, we give them 30 hours certification on fintech, we give them 30 hours certification on forensic finance.
2 credits.
Yeah, so and moreover, again as I told you, they have a leverage to enroll on Swayam, learn on their own and then come back. So gaps can be filled. Again, finally, how it is delivered. My emphasis again and again will be on how it is delivered.
So delivery is the only important
not
parameter
only, but majorly. In short, why I am emphasizing on delivery of curriculum is wherever there are gaps, these gaps can be filled through delivery. For example, if there is a lag between what industry needs and what is there in a curriculum, can be filled through a delivery. In case if there is a lag between what a student's perception is and what the curriculum say, can be delivered it through can be filled with a delivery. So I'm not saying that delivery and pedagogy and classroom engagement is everything, but today's new learning approach requires filling of gaps in classroom. Rather than running PPTs, using chalk and talk, it should be more of mentoring, for which definitely the teachers should be well versed with what is going on in industry. So very clearly they'll be able to bridge the gap, and believe it or not, it helps in their final employment or final interviews also. Definitely, I will work towards their improvement of communication. I'll work towards their tying of tie, knotting the tie, everything. That all I'll do it. But at the end of the day, I will freeze their expectation. See, dear student, this is where you stand. This is a job expectation. There are 2 ways. Either look for a job which fits your expectation or bring up your expectation.
So I think what you talked about is filling up the gap by doing add-on program. It makes more sense.
More sense.
Of course, it is very clearly, and that's a good way of doing it.
This is exactly what we do, and believe it or not, I'll give you one example. There has to be a proper mentoring also. So I have one of my student, he cracked the interview, and then I asked him, okay, bhai, in classroom you studied this subject, this course. And what he told me is, sir, 2 things have helped me. Something which was being taught to me in my first semester in operation management rather than my operation specialization. And secondly, the add-on of lean and agile has helped me to take up this job.
Okay.
So somewhere or the other, there has to be a proper feedback mechanism also in place to understand that what is leading to employability, what is making them employable, and you have a discretion, you have a freedom to change the certifications. Whereas when it comes to your curriculum, you don't have a freedom if you are affiliated to university.
So coming back to again, will management education in future will also have policies as you have an undergraduate under the new education policy, where they can choose the subjects?
So as on now, they do have.
Okay.
So for example, what you call it as an open elective, right? Earlier it was that if you are taking a finance, you will have a common papers, you will have a electives from finance. That flexibility is already introduced. For example, you can pick up one elective from other specializations also. Open electives, what we call it. So very clearly, many of our students, can opt for business innovation, they can opt for business analytics. These are open electives. So along with the core papers, core elective, core finance paper, core elective paper, there is one paper which they can pick up from any other specialization or open electives.
So this is a different question. In India, if you see, there are few communities into business. Is MBA is the right thing for this particular community who are more an entrepreneur in nature to do MBA?
So there's something which someone told me. There was one student, this is not my experience, someone shared his experience, who is a trainer. So students, he is a soft skill and corporate communication trainer. So he had arranged an entire program that how interview process is going to be conducted. What happened was, there was this boy who was from a business family, he did not attend. I don't need it, karke. So during the break, this trainer asked him, okay, what's the problem? Why didn't you attend this? Well, I'm not going to go for jobs. I'm not going to apply anywhere. I have my own business. The trainer gave him a perspective. You'll be on the other side. You'll be the interviewer. So at least you should be well versed on what type of questions to ask when you are hiring people. So again, you have to understand that you have to make these learners understand that everything that is happening in an education institution is contributing to their development. See, they are today exposed to so much of information that whatever they prefer, the technology is only feeding them with the same information.
Right.
And unfortunately, this leads to their biases becoming more strong, you know. So our role as a teachers, our role as a trainers, our role as a mentor is to make them understand कि भाई ठीक है, what you are saying we do accept, but it is a bias. Why it is a bias? Because you have been always consuming the information which suits you. And this is leading to a problem in today's generation because they will be exposed, this algorithm will only give them what they love to listen. So suppose if I love to listen on fintech, every next reel or every next video or every next article or content will be on fintech. And then what happens is they miss on the other aspects. So that is again where your mentors should be some way or the other being able to tell them, okay, see, this is okay. It's one side of the entire finance, but you cannot directly enter into a fintech. There is some basic understanding of finance which is required. So many a time what happens, a student, they learn on tools like Python and everything, and they feel that they are finance experts. And you'll be surprised, Mr. Rajesh, they don't know basics of finance. They know how to, so they know the process. They know how to produce the outcome. But they miss on interpretation of that outcome because they have been only learning what they like to learn. Karke. So here comes the role of mentor or as a teacher, that you have to tell them what you're doing is exceptionally good, we appreciate, but please go back to basics of finance so you can give a better results in what you are doing. It can supplement to what you are doing. So some way or the other, the role of mentors is going to be very important in times to come, and it is now also.
Now you said role of mentor. I had come across a number of teachers, professors and mentors or other trainers in the management colleges. I did not find them intelligent and competent enough to teach.
So this is very sensitive question. We cannot label people, but I feel rather than being more intelligent, more capable, they should be more passionate.
Right.
See, because what happens, you know, even if I'm a mediocre teacher, if I'm passionate about teaching, I'll work hard. I myself will read the concept, I'll prepare for the session, I'll put in my heart and soul, I'll give my 100%, and that is everything, that is exactly what is required. So primarily only looking at a teacher's caliber in terms of intellectual level or
academic
qualification, I feel a passionate teacher does much better job. And that can take care of self-learning. See, in fact, if you look at my entire academics, I've done my education from a very good school and everything, but I was a mediocre student. And my true learning took place when I started teaching. I don't think as a student I must have spent as much number of hours
studying
with books as much as started doing as a teacher.
No.
So no doubt, one thing which was my strength was that I used to love reading. Even as a student, I used to love reading, even when I was not into academics, when I was into other things. So that love for reading was always there. But when I entered into teaching, many a time I had to read the same passage again and again and look at the different perspectives, what type of questions can come in class, and in case if there are 5 types of questions which will come, how I'll be able to handle it. So very clearly, even if a teacher is academically mediocre, it doesn't prove that. And let me tell you, there are n number of examples where a mediocre teacher has produced the best student of the world. So I feel passion is a driving force.
No, that's where your first question when I asked you about, you said the delivery
Exactly.
of a teacher
Your
is
delivery
not.
will be
So delivery is
successful
done by-
if you are a
by-
passionate
by a
teacher,
passionate teacher.
and you are well prepared.
Right.
So preparing for, see, if you ask any teacher, even with a passionate teacher with an experience of 20-25 years, he or she will tell you something very common. Today also, before I enter the class, I do prepare for it. Do you mean to say that a teacher who has been teaching for last 20 years and been able to produce best of the talent out for the world needs to prepare for his lecture? No, but a dedicated, passionate teacher will still put in some number of hours, will connect the current relevant contemporary content or happening or events with the topic and will deliver it in the class. So preparation is based on passion, and final delivery is a combination of passion plus preparation.
Now there's a different question here. There was sudden. Now it is a sudden increase in number of students going for MBA. There was a time some time back where there was a sudden decrease in MBA. I have seen, a lot of MBA colleges were facing trouble as far as admissions concerned. So now I presently, after maybe COVID and all, suddenly there is so this swing of going for MBA and not going for MBA, it happens regularly. It's like a economic cycle.
Yes, and what you said is absolutely right. There have been the times when the same education institution with the strength of 120 landed up with less than 60 students, and the same 120 has gone for 180.
So why does it happen? Question is this.
So there are several reasons behind it. Number one, you have to look at the number of students passing out every year from their completing their UG program.
It always increases.
It increases, but if you look at the percentage in terms of, unfortunately you have to understand that the gross enrollment rate in India is still very less. So it is increasing now. So if you look at it from the current perspective, definitely the gross enrollment rate for higher education is increasing, and very clearly the passing criteria is also different, and hence we see a lot of students, they complete their graduation. Number two, awareness. So the level of awareness at any given point of time has varied. So there have been the cases where there was something which was being floating that X percentage of MBA grads are not employable, which ultimately do affect the students के भाई, as you told that MBA करके भी मुझे वही job मिलेगा जो मुझे UG. Then there's another article which says that the maximum employability is not in other but in an MBA. So this information which floats impacts the students' decision.
Media play a major role.
Definitely, but I personally feel that I remember one of the former chairman of AICT very clearly told, get me one MBA student who is still unemployed after doing 2 years is still unemployed for 2 years after completing his or her MBA. And believe it or not, I am in touch with students. Sooner or later, within a year, they get a job and they grow. Believe it or not, they grow. See, invisible learning is something which is not measured in an MBA program. हमको कितनी बार लगता है कि students are not attentive, but it's not the case. They are listening to you, and they may be able to recall when they are working, and they may give a best outcome to the company where they are working, and that can be a big take off for their career. So there's a lot of invisible learning which happens in an MBA program, which ultimately, unfortunately, there's no scale to measure it. But ultimately it is seen 5 years, 10 years down the line. So I have so many of my students, those who are president, vice presidents, few of them are directors also. So, and let me tell you, all of them have been with a mediocre CET score.
Okay.
So they are successful.
Just wanted to ask you, do you have any student who have, for a number of years of experience, you said 5,000 students have gone through you.
Many students, 5,000 I'm still in connect
with. Okay, so more than 5,000. So have you come across somebody who has done MBA and then he took up a job and then realized that no, this is not for me and gone into photography or something else?
So I'll tell you something which is very interesting. I had one of my student who was doctor, medical doctor.
MBBS.
And he decided to do MBA, and he was very keen and he is a case example which I do quote on many forums. He decided to do MBA because some way or the other he felt he is not a cut for a medical profession. He did his MBA. He did his marketing as a specialization. He took up a job in media. He was so successful in that job that finally he became a stakeholder there. Eventually he moved out from there. He entered into other businesses. And today he is into multiple businesses, which he is doing exceptionally good. Karke. So, somewhere or the other, still he acknowledges. And believe it or not,
the MBA helped me in getting into
Definitely. And as you said, non-commerce students, they take up MBA more seriously. This is again a very unique example that I think more non-commerce students should enroll for MBA because it makes them to lead to a holistic development, or it will help them to develop entirely.
I had come across an MBBS student teaching finance in one of the management school. I met him. He was an MBBS and then he was teaching finance in college and he was not practicing.
So even I had many students, those who came from a tech background and they took finance and they did exceptionally good. In fact, we also are aware of it that many of our RBI governors
science and finance goes together.
Yes.
Any
so
science
it is basically what happens, pattern of thinking matters rather than the subject.
See, I tell you, this is my way of thinking. In science, you are imagining a lot of things. What is atom you cannot see? You have to imagine. So you're visualizing something as under dimag mein. And in finance there is something सीधा है, balance sheet है, ये सामने है, you can see it, the figure है. There is only 2-dimensional study. That is 3-dimensional study. That is what my way of thinking is.
No, see, ultimately when it comes to decision making in finance, it is very abstract, isn't it? No doubt. You have something in real terms or physical terms that is figures. But decision making is very abstract. Mr. A and Mr. B given a same financial statement, their decisions will be different.
Of course.
So ultimately there is something which is abstract they have to deal with eventually when it comes to decision making. So if you split up the job of accounting with management, financial management is more abstract because it requires decision making, whereas accounting is more like a reporting or whatever. So ultimately that's the reason. They may not be very good in reporting work, but they may be very good in decision making because they have been trained. Their pattern of thinking has been developed when they were into science.
Now something personal. You said you were a mediocre student. You were not very good at studies, and then you study more now but before teaching. Coming back to your personal life, which college, how?
So it has been like I was, in my schooling I have done it from St. Paul's at Dadar. I did my junior college and degree college from SAWS at Swadala, and then it was a break. I entered into a business because definitely coming from a business family, our priorities were always different.
So after 12th you got into business?
No, after graduation.
Okay, after graduation.
But one thing which now I realize when I look back, my love for reading never died.
Learning.
So reading.
Reading, okay.
So even when I was into business, I used to read Indian Express. I used to read Times of India in those days. And somewhere or the other, that has been a family culture also because my dad also used to read a lot. My mom also reads a lot. Although they consume regional language, but love for reading has been quite, visible in our family also. I used to read India Today, Business Today, being into small businesses, but I always used to understand how business works, and it was never ever thought about that I'll enter into teaching. Finally, it was someone who nudged me and said, when you are so much fond of reading, why don't you do PhD? And believe it or not, Mr. Rajesh, at that point of time, I was not aware that you need to have a master's to do a PhD.
Right.
Eventually, then, it was a motivation from several people, those who are there in my life, including my family, my wife particularly.
So you did a PhD after you got married? Or rather,
no,
masters?
In fact, even my masters I did when my daughter was 3 years, 4 years. So there's been 10 to 11 years gap between my graduation and post-graduation.
Okay.
And then, although there were no plans as such, I'll enter into teaching. But someone again told me that...
So that 8 to 10 years after graduation, you were in business?
Business. And
Okay.
we had different verticals like retail, manufacturing of garments, and my family was into construction, finance, broking. This has helped me, believe it or not. Because what happens means somewhere or the other, if I feel that I'm able to do reasonably good job in classroom, it is somewhere or the other a complete blend of my formal learning,
A person
of my
who
education,
was into business and teaching. That's your experience.
plus my continuous reading from my school days. So I don't know whether today schools do offer or not. We used to have a proper entire 45 minutes session, what in school we used to call it period, of reading. Which somewhere or the other today I realize that it has helped me. You know, our teachers used to correct us on pronunciation. Our teachers used to correct us on explaining the meaning of a particular word. So I do feel that reading should be something which should not reduce with the time, it should increase with the time. So even today someone says, what is your next plan? So I said, I don't know what I'll do after I retire, but one thing is very sure that I'll increase my reading when I retire.
So very good. I mean, I just got this question is, can you recommend 10 books a management student should read?
So, see, if you go on the open space, there are multiple books. Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, Connect the Dots. Then certain books which I personally feel is very much important, is which I think in today's time everyone should read, irrespective you are a management student or you are a homemaker or you are a businessman, is An Atomic Habit. Then Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Kiyosaki.
Yeah. So the books which generally everyone, self-help books which recommends. So again, it will vary from person to person. All the books which your Google is recommending are exceptionally good. You read any book, you will learn something different from. Another book which I personally feel, which is not may not be recommended by Google, is Mad Money Journey.
Mad Money Journey.
Yes. So it's a very good book, and it is very. It's a fiction which teaches you finance. Karke.
Okay.
Then Dhando is a book. Dhando.
So it might be an Indian book.
Yes. Then Rokda. And if someone is doing what do you call marketing, I think Rama Bijapurkar's We Are Like That Only. It talks about Indian consumers, how are we different. Karke. So there are a number of books. You keep on reading, you will get some different perspective every time.
What about this 48 Laws of Power?
No,
It is of course not for management students, but once you got senior, you get an idea.
Yeah, so that's, I will not recommend it for a management grad, and Power of Subconscious Mind also I will not suggest immediately. Secret is good, but then perspectives are quite different. So I personally feel they should start with Stephen Covey's book, and then finally they should read this basic book like Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, Connect the Dots. Because what happens, when you are developing your reading, you should not directly jump into a book which is quite complex and which gives you multiple perspectives.
There's a book called Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich is also something which they can start reading at an elementary, because very clearly the thought process changes.
The first book which I always find every 10th class students should read it, How to Win Friends, Influence People.
That was the first book which I read in my life.
That was my first
And it was very strongly recommended by my mentor. You read this. And I personally feel it has helped. And today, even when I do tell students that biggest thing what you should do in life is develop network. Many successful, intelligent, capable, talented people, they fail to leverage because they don't build their network. Your network is actually your network.
So they say, network is network.
Actually, it is network. See, and you get solutions to all your problems when you have a very wide network. Now, you can be very selective about your network. I'm not saying that building a wide network means anchoring to each and everyone. You have to be very selective. Not purely that how that network is going to be useful and how I can tap or I can gain out of it, but you can say how mutually we can contribute to each other's growth and development. So for example, today both of us are here. I cannot think about that what exactly benefit I am going to derive from Mr. Rajesh. I also have to think that how mutually both of us can grow. So it's not purely to label it as give and take, but it is talk about a cooperation which leads to a mutual growth. the perspective, people may say that this is same thing, words are different. No, words are not different, emotions are different. When I say that it's a give and take, there is some selfish motive behind. But when I say that mutually we should grow, there are emotions involved. So your network should be with emotions. When I say emotions, that can be a professional emotions also. When you feel happy, when your stakeholders are also growing with you. So that is, I feel, missing link where people don't understand that how much your network is important. And believe it or not, today I've been able to get a lot of my work done, lot of my operational processes also being developed is because of network. And it helps, believe it or not, it helps. So academic network, your fraternity network, your social network, because we are human beings, we need network at all different places. And today we are in the world where very clearly developing a network virtually is not difficult, but sustaining is becoming difficult.
Because of lack of time.
Sustaining is becoming difficult, I feel. So you have to very clearly invest in your networks.
Okay. At least you can wish a birthday once a year.
You can wish birthday, you can show your concern. If there's something which you feel that you can contribute to someone, just forward that opportunity to someone. Right? See, even if you feel that someone is going through a bad times, just one phone call or just sharing some motivational content, just calling him or her over a coffee and talking to him for 15-20 minutes or half an hour. All these things do matter when it comes. And that's where, when you say that you have to grow mutually, it has to be not only in tangible way, it also has to be in intangible way. Growth is both tangible as well as intangible. That is my perspective.
So a successful management graduate should have this two habits. One is reading and networking.
So what we do at our institute, Mr. Rajesh, is that we look at the holistic development. You are talented, but you are finding it difficult to cope up with your mental health. Your talent is in vain. So we work towards their mental health. We work towards their skill development. We work towards their managerial all competencies, like creating a global awareness, inculcating analytical thinking. It's a package. That's the reason I told you now, if someone says that how management education has helped me, I personally feel it's quite invisible. Some of the mental health, one important thing which I would like to highlight is that we have to make people more confident. Unfortunately, I have seen people lack on confidence. And how to do or how to make people more confident is a very lengthy process. It cannot be just by giving one motivational speech, ke bhai, this is how you should be. It may work for some time and it may evaporate. But it's a very lengthy process. And I think management education should work on it, making people more confident. Now, how will people become confident? When they have answers to multiple questions. So if someone is questioning you, you have a right answer to it and you know that you can defend, you should be vocal enough. Unfortunately, people are neither confident nor they are vocal in many cases is primarily because they don't know how to defend. बोलते तो मैंने बोल दिया, अब क्या? But if when I am raising voice or I'm highlighting my concern or a concern about a company, I should be well read, I should be quite knowledgeable on how I'll defend, how I will be able to see to it that my proposal is discussed in a forum or a meeting. Because what happens, why I am emphasizing on confidence, it has a relevance because people don't take initiative if they are not confident.
If you read, you get confident.
You read, you understand all that Bloom's taxonomy, what we talk about, and till the time you feel that you can analyze things and everything. So that's the reason your learning is important. You should never undermine your learning. Let me tell you, if someone says, I've heard on some podcast also, someone says, I will not send my kid to a school because there's nothing left to be...
there's nothing new.
There's nothing left to be taught in classrooms. I think this actually a person needs to think about it, that what is going to be his or her child's situation of interpersonal skills.
Right.
See, when students work together, they learn from each other. It's a social setting. their interpersonal skills also improve. They will be able to work as a team. Imagine a student who is not sent to schools or colleges and is being taught at home. Do you feel that social setting, understanding?
That's what is happening in US, homeschooling.
So let us say, but in India, and that's the reason why we feel, why is it that all leadership position in many of the American companies
Are
in
Indian.
USA is because this social setting, understanding, interpersonal skill are the crux to leadership. See, what is the biggest challenge which leaders today face is interpersonal skills, empathy. And how will you learn about interpersonal skills, empathy, in case if you have not worked in a social setting? So I personally feel education institutions should promote teamwork, should promote confidence building, should promote in making their students quite resilient. And I think again I have a different perspective which may be accepted by not. I think we should work on making our students more capable rather than only employable, because by making them employable, it's good, definitely they will be able to live their life, but in case if they are capable, they will be able to overcome the challenges which they meet even during their career.
So, Ketan, just wanted to ask you, you said you were into business for a number of 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, maybe more
Right.
than that.
So,
also,
okay.
yes, yeah.
Do you miss business?
Yes, I do miss business. And actually, what happened was, my business continued. My wife, I told you, is a with
Okay.
support. She
She
started running business and everything, and she did better job than what I used to do. Honest confession. And there is a different perspective which I would like to share, that why I've been also labeled as a feminist, because I personally feel women do better job than men in many cases, and I am a best example of it. My wife started running business, she did a better job than what I was doing. Even the closer of business was in a very decent way, because the place where we used to do business had to go for a redevelopment. The way she handled, the bold decisions what she took, I personally feel, I doubt whether I would have been able to do the same thing the way she did. So I personally feel now, as this has come up, I will also touch another perspective which is very close to my heart. Women need to be promoted, in spite of the fact that there's a lot of women empowerment, inclusivity concepts are going, but still I feel that some way or the other, even in the best of the companies, MNCs, still when it comes to certain role, women are undermined. I will
They are
not
underpaid
mention.
also.
I came across
I read an article, they are underpaid also.
exactly. We should not undermine, because we are in the world where women are not now only equal to men; they are in many cases better than men also. So let us accept this. And I've seen there are so many of my students, those who are girls, they are doing much better than my boy students.
Yes, so academic scoring is
Not only
concerned-
academic,
okay,
also in terms of when they are taken up jobs. And one of the challenges which they face is they are during their maternity break, and something has to be seriously done to take care of their maternity break. If that is taken care of, I think they should be, what do you say, the entire journey should be made quite smooth, so that they take up jobs, their continuity is restored, their continuity is maintained. They should be allowed with some privileges, just because they are not different in any way as compared to men, but only biologically we have differences. That's the only thing. That there is no difference between men and women other than their biology today. I am strong promoter of women empowerment, and I am strongly feminist. Some way or the other, I feel that we have to develop a society where we should understand that today there are no roles which are gender based, and still it is prevalent in many cases. Now we will not talk about it because it becomes quite obvious on this forum.
We will get into something else.
Yes. वो self defensive mechanism.
बदला लेने के चक्कर में
बस उसने humiliate का, I will wait for an opportunity कि भाई how I will, हाँ.
अब मैं भी उसके जैसा हो जाऊंगा.
I'm not saying that you should accept that humiliation. If you can defend, you should defend. But provided you are well versed with how to defend. If you fail to defend, you will go into shell, because you failed in defending also. इसलिए मैं confidence building पे बहुत important, और confidence ऐसे नहीं आता है. जब आपके पास हर एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर है ज़्यादा करके, सबका तो किसी के पास नहीं होता है, तब आपके पास आके
वो भी, I mean, what I think is, when I had also had lack of confidence till वही college days में SY तक and all. Then I saw an advertisement, or one of my friend was a trainer for public speaking. Well, I'm starting this program. Would you be interested in doing? I said, okay. Public speaking, confidence. I mean, even public speaking helps you in building your confidence.
Yes.
तो public
Rather,
speaking में-
I would say that public building helps you to build confidence, and eventually your built-up confidence helps you to in making you a good public speaker also. So it's a cause-effect relationship.
So I went through that program. I stood second in the class, क्योंकि I was good at talking at any topic. तुम बीच में कुछ भी दे दो तो मैं शुरू हो जाता था. तो that teacher बोलता है साला तेरा दिमाग अलग चलता है. So I stood second there in the class. But then वो जो डर था ना, डर निकल गया. Public speaking का, classroom teach. That I think that was reason I got into training. Because
It helps you.
वो 500 जन सामने रहते तो people start shivering.
ये जो confidence building है ना, it's a very long exercise. But once you complete that exercise ना, राजेश भाई, believe it or not, आप दुनिया में कहाँ पे भी आपको डाल दिया ना,
हाँ, इधर से भी निकल
आप
जाएगा.
वहाँ से निकल जाओगे
आराम से.
Any problem you are into, you'll be not with great difficulty, you will be able to come out of it smoothly because you are confident.
नहीं,
But that confidence should have a strong foundation. Superficial confidence is very dangerous. और वो confidence के लिए या आपके पास तजुर्बा होना चाहिए, you should have an experience, or you should be well read, or you should have an analytical and strategic mind. तो आप पकड़े नहीं जाओगे कोई भी प्रॉब्लम्स में, वो जकड़ के नहीं रखेगा आपको. You will not get entangled in that problem.
You mean to say confidence with knowledge makes you a successful person.
Knowledge leads to confidence. Na? Many of the successful people also have.
That can be a
लेकिन it's not merely knowledge. Na?
हाँ,
Again,
confidence
क्या
is
होता है?
important.
हाँ, you see so many people those who are knowledgeable. So as I told you ना, confidence ऐसा overnight नहीं आता है. It's a prolonged exercise. It requires your physical. I'll tell you one thing. Even your physical exercise contributes to your
confidence building. Yes.
I walk for 6
100%.
kilometers daily.
The people who are
You have to respect your health. Yesterday I was invited for a wedding. I did not go because it was not that I was in bad health. But somewhere or the other I got some indication that if I don't take care of my health at this point of time, next day morning I have to meet Rajesh bhai, it would be a problem. And let me tell you, since morning I have just taken a tea and coffee because I feel that is going to keep me light, and mind works, when your body is good, your mind works. Otherwise your mind will not work karke. So you have to respect your body, you have to respect your family, you have to respect people, those who have contributed to your life. This also are the invisible ways in which you are building your confidence.
So, tell me one thing. So, as we were talking about reading, building confidence, public speaking, and various soft skills, I think these are more important than somebody which will contribute to a successful person after doing MBA.
I'll be very honest with you. There are so many things, na Rajesh bhai, even I'm not able to relate कि भाई किसको मैं basket से निकालूं. Even I'll tell you na, the students' development in terms of their participation in activities, they are organizing activities. I'll tell you something, even their fights, even the disagreement amongst themselves.
हाँ, वो logical होता है कि कैसा होता है.
That's the reason I'm saying कि आप कभी भी education institution को undermine मत करो. Your kids going to a school and having a disagreement with their classmates is also something which is contributing to their
So yeah, that is a very good question. I think this is doing MBA through distance is advantageous towards MBA full time.
Now, what is your need? If it is purely an academic qualification which is some way or the other you need to fill it, which is becoming a deterrent for your promotion, or it is not helping you in your promotion, then it's good. Secondly, you already have done masters, you have done a lot of other skill development program, then to also you want to take a flavor of management, then it's okay. See, we are in the society, India's education ecosystem is quite undermined. If you look at the people in the age group of 30 to 40 and 40 to 50 and 50 plus today also are enrolling for these educations, maybe a management or law or They're doing a lot of certifications, maybe NISM certification. So somewhere or the other, I think this level of openness and this level of positivity towards education is commendable. I think we should not undermine India's education ecosystem. Means I had a student who was almost of my age once when I was teaching in class, and even there have been students where my age and their age has been with a marginal difference of 2-4 years. So somewhere or the other, that acceptance of learning, irrespective of age, is something which I feel is very unique to India.
What do you see when these foreign universities are coming to India? There are some 4-5 UK universities set up their campus nearby in India, and they will also start teaching and training. So,
See, I'll tell you, we should not undermine these international universities. All these Ivy League and good universities, they have their entire different approach, which definitely leads to a development which many of our universities will take some time to reach that level. We should respect, we should learn from them, we should set up benchmarks based on how they are devising or creating curriculum, how they are delivering curriculum, how their industry interaction is taken care of, how they are going for a project driven teaching learning approach. So rather than being positive or negative about any of the reputed foreign universities, we should set our benchmarks. And it
we
will
have to improve.
We have to.
We will have to improve, or they will improve.
No, we need to
We will have
improve
to-
in
okay.
case, again, which universities are we comparing ourselves with? If they are definitely good universities, then I think there's no harm in learning something where someone is better than you.
Of course.
But at the same time, we should not undermine. We have IITs, we have IIMs, where this entire talent is going global. So somewhere or the other, we should acknowledge also that our education system also is in place. Because very clearly, IITians and IIM grads, they are accepted as a global talent today in many cases. So our education is equally good, but again, as an individual, you should keep learning. As an education system also, we should keep learning and uplifting and developing, improving, setting high quality parameters. It's a continuous process. यहाँ पे कितना network build किया है, वो decide करेगा. I do tell my students also, see, when you enter into office, first thing is avoid gossips. Don't become part of lobbying. Develop a good network, have high level of commitment, don't get into any controversies. Believe it or not, people will tell you कि ये बंदा है, किसी के लेने देने में नहीं है. The day you are one who is labeled as कि ये किसी के लेने देने में नहीं है, you are the best talent. The day you say that ये इंसान किसी के लेने देने में नहीं है, what does that mean? कि वो आता है अपना काम कमिटमेंट से करके जाता है करके. You should be a person who should be labeled कि ये किसी के लेने देने में नहीं है. हाँ, you should be very active when it comes to your role in which you are performing. वहाँ पे gaps है, red flag highlight करना है तो आपको पीछे नहीं हटना है. But again, MBA learning आता है, जहाँ हम लोग सिखाते हैं how to raise red flag without hurting anyone's ego or feelings. ये इंटरपर्सनल स्किल्स जो आप लोगों को कभी भी स्कूल्स कॉलेजेस के बिना नहीं सिखाया जाएगा, क्योंकि घर पे जो भी एक टीचर एक पेरेंट सिखाता है वो अपने बायस से सिखाता है. और अगेन पेरेंट का पर्सनालिटी भी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड है. when you go to school, when you go to colleges, when you go to institutions, you meet so many people around, you interact with so many different personalities, and that is which is going to take you into leadership role. Best talent has failed because of poor leadership, and the mediocre talent has achieved heights because of good leadership. हमारे पास corporate में कितने examples हैं? Best talented people came on the designations, right? We should not highlight those at this point of time, but they failed. You should not undermine that they were not talented, but somewhere or the other, this interpersonal skill, people's management was something which was undermined.
Sir, one thing I'd like to come to, we would like to ask you is MBA and entrepreneurship. So thing is, there are a lot of businessmen, a lot of who are lot of business who have not done MBA and are successful, and a lot of MBAs who have lifetime did job and they were never able to start something on their own. So thing is, there is something which is a small line is there where MBAs usually are, as you said, they are more focused on job kidhar milega. So can we create entrepreneurs in management institutes?
In fact, I have already discussed it in one of my podcasts earlier also. So let us first break this myth that MBA is only an employability program. I'll talk about few dimensions for your better understanding. Taking a macro view. Government also is insisting that there has to be an entrepreneurial development in all the technical education, and it is mandatory for all the technical education institutions to have an institutional innovation council where a lot of activities are done to promote entrepreneurship, to enhance creativity, to promote innovation, right from idea generation to prototype to execution of plan. So somewhere if you look at it from the macro perspective, government wants it, and government has understood that the best way is that having incubators, pre-incubators, accelerators in education institutions.
Right.
So that is one thing about it. Secondly, you have to look at the mindset of the students. Changing the mindset of the student is a bit of a challenge, because all these years it has been a stereotype कि अगर मैं MBA करूँगा मुझे job मिलेगा. But we do tell our students, as much as there's a risk in business, today there's a risk even in your jobs. You don't know, one fine day you go to an office and you are being told that you are not needed. And imagine you have EMIs on you, which you will be worried because it will not so easy to get a next job, and there's going to be some amount of lag between getting a job and you being asked to leave your present job. So that risk taking ability has to be some way or the other well positioned among the students. That risks today prevails everywhere, whether you are employed or self-employed. Third, there's a lot of lack of awareness in terms of government schemes. However, many people feel that government schemes also are very complex to avail those benefits.
Understand and avail.
But I feel you have to be very practical. You have to identify people, those who are into licensing of it. There are people, those who do licensing of it. Those who look at it, we will see to it that we will do an entire compliances, procedural work, and ultimately whatever will be our fees, you have to pay our fees, and we'll see to it that all subsidies, incentives, funding, whatever you see it, capital, whatever name you give it to it, can be availed. See, management education has never been different from entrepreneurship. If you look at it, there were so many institutions which were running family-run business, and even the entrepreneurship education institutions are there. Even AICT has currently come up with a program which can be exclusively for entrepreneurship. So under IIC only, under Institutional Innovation Council, government is promoting to have a dedicated program on entrepreneurship, that is an MBA in entrepreneurship. So very clear, it has never been different, but unfortunately what has happened is that all these years that preconceived notions, it's very difficult to start business, it is very difficult to run business, there's a lot of risk, it is not my cup of tea, it is only dominated by certain communities and they only can enter into that particular business. Were there some preconceived notions which were there? But some way or the other, the recent India's story about startups has made people think differently.
Right.
So if you look at it, entrepreneurial development today, although it has not, I'll be very honest with you, based on my limited knowledge, it has not reached a point where it is supposed to reach, but the journey has started. Now, what we do at our institution, we identify students, those who are not interested in jobs. We request them, you can give it to us in writing. I'm not looking at jobs, but I want to have my own startup. And then we invite mentors, those who will come, those who will look at the business plan, those who will guide them. And as our institution at a whole also, multiple institution, we have our own innovation council also. So ultimately that also where our management also does a funding for a brilliant idea. And one very important thing which we also are doing at entire Raigad district is where we conduct different workshops on idea generation and business model canvas in Raigad district to promote entrepreneurship not only in our institution but also in the institution in that particular vicinity or that particular locality. So entrepreneurship has always been an integral part of management education, but unfortunately it was not being focused the way it is getting focused now. This is one perspective which we spoke about a macro. Second, it's a very personal what do you say opinion, and nothing, no one should take it by my words karke, but some way or the other, when we look at involving entrepreneurs into a mainstream of academics, it is not seen that optimistically. Okay, bhai, businessmen should not enter into academics. In fact, the fact is that most of the education institutions are pioneered by businesses.
But they're not creating entrepreneurs.
Just imagine if suppose you have one faculty who is running a factory also, right, in your group of faculty team. I don't know the acceptance level of that person. Even the mindset of that person may be quite different. It will not be academically driven. So somewhere or the other, we have to involve entrepreneurs into the mainstream of academics. Let entrepreneurs come as we have a professor of practice. We should have an entrepreneurs, those who should regularly be involved into academics. Because what is happening, unfortunately, somewhere or the other, as much as we shy away from businesses, we will not be able to create entrepreneurs, basically. Another important thing is, which again I feel has always been not focused upon. Existing students, those who have family businesses, they are preferring to take up jobs rather than continuing with their family business.
Okay.
So what can be done is, somewhere or the other, some mentoring has to be done. See, your family business is there. If it is unorganized, we can organize it. If it is on a small scale, we can definitely look at making it more scalable. In case if it is not doing well, how can we turn around and make it better? So these all areas need to be focused upon, because unfortunately no one is looking at these areas. Right. Okay, someone who is having a family business is also looking for a job.
Shutting down.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons of shutting down is, I have come across is, parents always say that I am spending 24 hours in the business and I am only earning this much. After your MBA, you will earn more than me. So why not go for a job rather than...
What you said, you have nailed it absolutely right. Imagine father comes late evening, puts the bag and says ke danda ma maja nathi.
And this is the
ultimately the mindset of the kids will be ke my father is struggling.
Why should I?
See, somewhere that you cannot go and change. Now that requires a social change.
And the people, and let me tell you, sir, the people who got into business were not MBAs. Reason is because they were not MBA, they got into because they had nothing to lose, and they were not tagged with MBA or any graduation title. So और कुछ था ही नहीं, तो धंधा ही करना था.
So
maybe that is the reason they went into it.
I'll tell you, there are 2-3 reasons why people don't take up entrepreneurial initiative and take up jobs. Number one is risk. Now I'll break that barrier. Risk is equally there in your jobs. Number two, I don't have money. Right? Look at all successful, starting from Narayan Murthy to whoever, they have never had a money. But anyways, if we give such examples, they will consider it as a rare of the rarest case. Today government is there to promote you. In fact, government is also willing to see to it that in case if your business is not doing well, kindly put it into NCLT and close it down and think of something new.
Right.
Today, the India's ecosystem on entrepreneurship is changing. So, very clearly, funds, which was once upon a time a problem, today is no more as much. I won't say it's easily available. Let us be very honest. But it is not as much as a challenge which was there earlier. Third, people say, okay, I don't have experience. So very clear today, education institutions have incubators, pre-incubators, accelerators. So if you have some brilliant idea, you roll it out during your learning phase, and then you can make it scalable once you are out. So what were the barrier once are no more the same barriers today. However, we have failed to promote entrepreneurship because of dominance of particular community, and it is a myth. There was a time where engineer का बेटा engineer, doctor का बेटा doctor, जो निकल गया, लेकिन अभी भी businessman का बेटा businessman is what is still accepted. See, there was time, I think during our times, one who is doing medical, his or her father is also a doctor. One who is doing engineering, his or her father is engineering. You know? So, and now if you look at it, that's not the case. Today, students have become quite opinionated. I don't want to do medical. It's not my cup of tea. I want to learn music. And family is allowing it. And there's no reason for these kids also to be worried about risk. Because see, today, most middle class, upper middle class, they don't have any liabilities like what we had.
Right.
Our parents had.
There is a lot of money.
There's a lot of money, exactly.
After Manmohan Singh liberalization, a lot of money had come to the country and people are ready to take risks.
Yes, they are not, their consumption is not credit driven. They are spending from their own pockets. Their salaries are sizable. They spend a lot. They don't have any commitment in terms of EMI as much as what we had or our parents had.
Right.
So somewhere or the other, they have enough money to leverage. But unfortunately, still there is some missing link which needs to be taken care of to promote entrepreneurship in India. Because it's the right time. If we fail, because I am saying it's the right time, because lot of changes which are happening in terms of innovation, tech-driven business. So I think there are umpteen opportunities.
There is a scheme by Government of India. You don't, out of 5 years, you can avoid 3 years paying tax.
Yes, Startup India.
Startup India. You are getting fund from government to start something.
The only thing is, see, what I have heard from many of my students and former students also, they say that thoda challenges hai, complex hai.
But I recently got, the idea is good enough.
I recently got one communication from one of my student who passed out 2 years back. Sir, मेरे को एक बंदा मिल गया, उसने मेरे को बोला तेरा पूरा काम करके दूंगा. Right from your compliance till the time you get your amount into your bank.
There are.
Then and then only you have to pay me my fees.
There are.
So, see, if you want to put in your energy and time on your ideas and product development, you should hire such people and let them do this work for you.
The government has set up agencies. They have set up agents who are helping.
So it's fantastic. I think. So where is the question of not?
Your idea should be unique.
Let me tell you, students come up with brilliant ideas. Irrespective of whichever institution. If you go to any of the rural area also, you will be surprised that they come up with brilliant ideas. There's no dearth of ideas. Only thing is, the direction is missing. So somewhere or the other, I think with this IIC concept becoming more robust, we'll see a lot of startups in coming time. It takes time, Any difficult thing will take longer time than the easier one to roll.
So the communist approach is dying and democratic capitalism is...
So capitalist approach with proper governance is always good for the economy.
Right.
The reason why I'm saying that capitalist approach with proper governance is because the governance is, when things are put in place, it creates a good level playing field for people to survive and grow. So capitalism is good if it is with proper governance.
So net we can say management education is very important for entrepreneurs, for people who seek jobs, and for everyone else, because eventually...
So I'll tell you honestly, when I started my teaching, I was not a management teacher.
Achha.
I started as teaching all BCom students. Basically my domain was economics.
I remember you
teaching economics.
Yes.
So finally, when I started teaching management students, getting involved into curriculum, getting involved into developing lesson plans, getting involved into developing pedagogy, I found somewhere or the other, this is like a panacea. It is a solution to all the problems. Believe it or not. I'm not exaggerating. Please don't consider that I, being from a management education, I'm exaggerating it. But it's a panacea. It's a solution to all the problem. It makes you confident, which helps you in your personal development. It takes care of your personality, which improves your acceptance. It makes you competent to handle the most challenging task. It helps you in a right decision making. It makes your mind analytical. It helps you in your strategic action. It helps you in your communication skill. It helps you in your networking. It helps you in your global awareness. It helps you into your critical thinking. And I personally feel if all this put together makes you a perfect person to survive and grow in life in all the fields, in your professional, personal and your social field. So that is exactly I will conclude. Don't look management education merely as a program or an educational program, it is much more than what meets the eyes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.